Have you ever been in a conversation about risk management and heard someone say every risk is an opportunity? How could the threat of hurricane damage, or a cyber attack, or a potential act of terrorism be considered an opportunity? I found many organizations lack clarity of definition on these terms. And if we're going to define a process on problem, risk, or opportunity management, we'll need clear definitions on each of these terms. But before we do that, we need to introduce the notion of a reference point. You have a problem with respect to what? You have a risk with respect to what? In business, the reference point is fairly straightforward. The reference point is your strategy, is an objective, or a plan and budget. And just as important, when we classify an issue as a problem, risk, or opportunity, it's from the perspective of before we act on it, before we commit resources. So you have a risk with respect to a strategy, such as a competitor beating you to be first to market with a new product launch. Or you have a problem with respect to a plan, such as a strategic supplier has gone out of business or is certain to go out of business. Or you have, let's say, an opportunity with respect to a budget, where a task's duration could be reduced by about a month. If we don't have clarity on the reference point, our efforts can do more harm than good. The biggest confusion becomes between the words problem and risk, so let's start there. I'm going to use a simple grid to illustrate the difference between a problem and a risk. Let's look at the left-hand side where we see the issue, situation, or event is either certain to occur or uncertain to occur. And on the bottom, we see the consequence, which is either certain to occur, let's say like a lost contract, or the consequence is uncertain. Could be a potential range of consequences. If we start with the lower left-hand quadrant, where the issue, situation, or event is certain to occur, and its consequence is certain as well, I think we'd all agree we'd call that a problem. If I move up to the upper left-hand quadrant, where the issue, situation, or event is uncertain, but the consequence is still certain, we'd call that a risk. Likewise, as I move across the top to the upper right quadrant, where the issue, situation, or event is still uncertain to occur, but its consequence is uncertain as well, once again, we'd call that a risk. If there's confusion in the use of the word problem and risk, it's the bottom right-hand quadrant. That's the case where the issue, situation, or event is certain to occur, but the consequence is uncertain. Now, calling this a problem or a risk is up to the organization. The way I use it, I think of this bottom right-hand quadrant as a problem. That is, the issue, situation, or event is certain to occur, but its consequence may be uncertain. The importance is that you have a clear definition and policy on these so you don't end up with a duplication of effort in the management of problems and risks. And now the definitions. Please note the additional detail I've provided for each of the terms. A risk is any issue, situation, or event that may result in a significant deviation from a planned goal, ultimately resulting in a loss. That's an unwanted negative consequence. A problem is any issue, situation, or event that currently exists or is certain to occur that will result in a significant deviation from a planned goal, ultimately resulting in a loss. Again, an unwanted negative consequence. An opportunity is an investment and or action that can be taken, resulting in outcomes that are better than planned, above and beyond those expected under the current plan or reference point. You can learn much more on this topic in my latest book, Problem, Risk, and Opportunity Enterprise Management.